Riot basically made a major mistake. They overbuffed Corki. They granted him base AD, they granted him scaling, they granted him everything there is to make him even more powerful. And not only this, there's one item that makes him even more potent when it comes to carrying games, and well, it is Bloodthirster. It sounds kind of weird because it has physical vamp, but that one doesn't really matter because you only want its AD and its crit. And I'm going to tell you the entire build and how to play this, and you can just enjoy winning games for absolutely free. So let's give you the breakdown. For your starter item, you'll go with the longsword simply because it's the best starter item for you. For your rush item, you want to get mana immune as fast as possible. It grants you super high AD and you want to get it scaling as soon as you can. For your core build, it will consist of Gluttonous Grease because you want the Omnivamp and the AD, and then it's Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge. After these items, you will go for Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster at this point will probably provide you with about 75 AD. And a juicy amount of 25% crit. Then for your last item, you will go for probably a shield bow just to be a tiny bit tankier and because you want a crit item. You can also debate going for the Magnetic Blaster if you need some more range and want an auto attack to hit the enemy before they can hit you, but most of your damage will come from spells in the sense of your ultimate. Once you hit the enemy with an Essence Reaver buffed up Red Rocket, you will see in this video how they absolutely implode, and Aramis didn't even take 1 second until he completely evaporated from this planet. For your enchantment, it's QSS or Stasis as per usual. For your summoner spells, as you're going in most of the time with your package, you can debate going for Exhaust or sometimes even Heal or Barrier. And well, obviously you want Flash. For your runes, you will go for First Strike in a matchup where you can't auto-attack, which is very unlikely in WildRift because people make 90 mistakes a second. You can go for Brutal, and otherwise it's Gathering Storm. And for your other rune, it's Giant Slayer always, and Bloodline. You want to have the highest sustain possible from your boots and Bloodline, and therefore you don't really need to have Riftmaker, it's just an optional item. And for your secondary page, you can go for Bone Plating just to make your life a little bit easier. Alternatively, you can think about the Resolve page first because it makes you even tankier. But then you have to choose between Bloodline and Giant Slayer. And you really don't want to choose between either of them because they're both so goddamn broken. And now, let's hop into the video. Hey you, yes you, can you see this? So many people are not yet sub. Be honest, what's stopping you from subbing? Let me know in the comments below. So let's present you Corki and why Corki is so broken. Like, right now, Corki is probably the best scaling mid laner in the entire game. Like, nothing really comes close to this champion. And if we just think about how much he can do, it's actually crazy how much the AD buff did for him. And when you play, for example, against an Orianna and she makes a mistake with her ball in the early game, you can just relentlessly attack her. You just have to push forward and punish her. You zone her away from XP as good as you can, and you keep on pushing forward. But that only works if she makes a mistake. And now you see her recalling, and what do we do as a consequence? We just instantly push the wave and look for a reset ourselves. Like, sadly, because I lost this one minion, I will have to wait a few seconds if I want to go for a Sapphire Crystal, which is kind of bad, but still. On Corki, Mana Immune is still the best item you can rush, simply because how much damage it does to enemies. The mana pool you have makes life so much easier, and you should just not skip out on that one. Obviously, if you rush Essence Reaver, you'll have a bigger spike early on, but the enemy, or rather you, will not have as much damage. And here I force the enemy off the cannon minion because I know that she wants to get that one. I tried to zone her away from it, she lost it, but well, I exhausted very late and the minions are absolutely demolishing me. And this was a very risky trade, and I should not have extended it in the way I did. However, simply because it's Orianna, I can do so because she lacks damage compared to other mid laners, and my champion has quite a lot of damage. So if I, for example, had another longsword or a Caulfield's hammer here, she just dies. That is one of the downsides of having First Strike and going for this crystal. But here, I know she can't kill me, I just walk away, everything is fine. Nothing will happen to me. Typical mid lane laning, I'm scaling, I have my tier now, and as I go back to lane, you will see me use at least a few spells that don't cost too much mana. In this case, probably the third ability if it's an option, but that's just something you can do to make your life easier in a sense of scaling. If you believe that you need the cooldown because it's a relatively high cooldown, you obviously don't have to do so. But here, I hope to get this little... but the Armadillo says no to me. But yeah, for mid lane Corki, it's mostly about chilling mid lane. You relax, you trade a bit, and then you poke enemy when they make mistakes. Like here, pretty decent trade, but Orianna was on the winning end because, yeah, she has quite a good burst combo, and it's just way better for me to all in. Because once she used her ball, like her cooldowns, as you see here, I can just go up, and my Kha'Zix being there, I can just one-tap her. Like, she didn't think I would just go, and we just kill her. So, because my Kha'Zix slit the vision in the right-hand side brush, I was just able to do this because I also knew that Rammus was on the other half of the same side as Kha'Zix was. So Rammus cannot get to me before I know it through Kha'Zix. And that makes life easier. And here I want to go for a plate because I want to get my mana immune. And I get it, and now I have to run away. With the next incoming wave, since it's not a cannon wave, I have to stay, otherwise I'll end up losing CS, which I don't really want to. And Rammus is currently harassing my bottom lane. But luckily with Corki, you're like similar to Sivir nowadays, you just one-tap waves, and I can just jump in on the Orianna and fight her. I have way more AD, and she can't defend herself. And with Exhaust, I can just do this. And now, there's sadly a Rammus coming. So now, you know what I hoped? I hoped, by walking around this and hiding here, that he would roll up here expecting me to go there, so I can hide here, and the moment this comes up again as I'm recalling, like if 6 seconds versus 4 seconds, and if he rolls up there, I can wait here and channel my recall, and if he would then come back a little bit later, I would be able to Valkyrie over the wall. But yeah, unfortunate, lovely little accidents, me trying to pretend chicken, didn't end up too well, and yeah, I just died. But still, I'm not too upset about this trade. The primary intention earlier was just to get mana immune from the plating. Therefore, I stayed. It ended in a all-in situation for me to kill Orianna. Then the Rammus walked around, well, rolled around the corner, and yeah, it was a trade. And he dies here, well, nice. So now we're in the prime position for Corki to be absolutely crazy. We have so much damage. Like any rocket we hit the enemy with is basically game changing. And it only gets worse for them because our next item is going to be a Sense Reaver. And here I can just jump onto the Orianna and try to force a trade, protecting my lovely ward. And again, I still have my flash as a security just in case she wants to ult. And here I just clear the wave again. Like the enemy is dancing around the dragon, just wasting their time right now. Probably thinking about doing dragon. Now I'll pick up the fruit. Realistically speaking, if there is a contest happening, if I expect them to contest or like go somewhere else, I could recall and go for it. And here the Orianna just walks there alone. This is what I mean. Like look at the enemy's goal right now. For whatever reason, they try to contest. On both sides, right? Like, we try to contest Dragon for whatever reason, and they try to contest Herald for whatever reason, when they can't. Like, both sides literally just ran it down and enjoyed giving the opposing team some extra gold. Kha'Zix dropping the Herald for me, giving me even more gold, and allowing me to be absolutely rich. Now there's a recall timer. The enemy has an extended play bot lane. They are extending it for like 50 billion years, and I'm allowed to pick up my package. And if the enemy still extends this, then they'll be absolutely mutilated by me. And here you see me use my rocket to just get a red rocket to just deal the most damage possible. Because I want to have the highest impact just available. Flashing forward, going in, leaving behind a trail on me, focusing the high priority targets, and then only going for the Rammus as my last target because he's the tankiest one. And now, I just clear the next wave, unless my Lucian wants to take it. But I don't really have to stay. There's nothing for me to basically gain here. I will not get my completed item, and what I can do now by resetting is basically denying the enemy Tristana access to platings. And here my Tryndamere is going for the flank. He could have waited a little bit more until she's closer to the tower. But we will actually get her. She chose to not yeet away instantly, as it seems, or maybe it was on cooldown before, but yeah. My Tryndamere absolutely demolishes her. I now rotate back to mid lane, getting the Scuttle Crab some extra juicy gold for me, getting the Monomune stacked, and then going back for my wave. When I have the Red Rocket, I feel very much... I don't really want to use it on wave unless I want to fast push it, right? Because it's such a valuable rocket, and losing it would basically cause me to, like, force me to use other rockets. And if I actually hit this rocket, I think she dies. Nah, she has like 4. Nah, she doesn't die. But still, it's still something I should never miss. But you see, like, we're not even really in the game. Now the Rammus comes to me and I just walk close to the corner, looking for the Orianna, going forward because there's no reason to run backwards, and now I need to stop attacking him with auto attacks, because if I do so, I'll take too much damage. And now the Sun Lady is really angry at me, predicts my movement, but she fails hitting me, because I wanted to go for the plant. And now there's an absolute skirmishy, and sadly the Samira is going in, blasting my entire team apart. She has had enough. She doesn't want us to win the game. Now, because my team died up there, I just go to the bot lane again and clear the wave here, so the enemy loses 1 potential point of making a play, and then I leave just instantly again, getting my completed item and some extra on top. Now for my next item, I'll go for Infinity Edge and just stack up as much AD as possible. The reason is, Corki's ratios have been buffed. His space AD is higher, his ultimate ratios on the Red Rocket were buffed by 20% on the bonus AD. Unlucky miss here. But it appears to not matter, because we just tap her. And she actually manages to completely kill our AD carry, because she just didn't instantly die, and my AD carry probably just rage FF'd. But yeah, there is still a lot of damage we deal to them, and the Leona flashes away. So, something that's very cool about Corki, normal AD carries would suffer quite a lot against Rammus, but for us it's kind of different because we are dealing magical damage. And here we need to be a little bit careful because of the tower, and we are just very unfortunate that we don't crit, and we have just a tiny bit too little damage. Now the next objective is spawning in 10 seconds, so we need to find our recall timer to pick up our package. Normally speaking, ideally speaking, like 15 to 20 seconds before an objective spawn, you want to grab this package and be in position. Because with your package, you can completely split up a fight, you can completely dictate how the fight is going to go simply by space, and once the enemy sits on it, it deals so much extra damage. Here we see our support gives me a perfect angle to deal so much chip damage, and I can just avoid every single spell on the enemy team and completely nuke them. And this was all thanks to my support granting me space. He allowed me to catch or get close enough to deal so much damage to them by just being allowed to carefully aim all my spells onto multiple people. And then because they are who they are, I can use my package to go through them into the backline. And here I can just instantly jump onto the Tristana, because there's nobody else there that can possibly protect her. And now it's a side lane game again. And here the Rammus is really angry. Look at this little armadillo chasing me down. But now it's time to farm side lanes. There's so much gold on side lanes that people continuously choose to lose, because take a good look at the bottom lane. And now the enemy team is making a play on the other side of the map, and there's realistically no reason that this play is happening, right? There's nothing to gain, yet we are choosing to fight down there, right? There's just a wave. Just clear the wave earlier and leave. Right now as this is happening, I'm just getting more gold and more gold and more gold, and just taking away enemy resources while getting myself further and further ahead. And this is something, there's not much you can do about this, right? You can't stop your team from doing what these people are doing here, and the only thing you can do is make the best out of the situation for yourself. You get as much gold as possible, you recall if you can and if there's something for you to do, and you obviously don't want to stay too long on the map without hurting you. And now I make a little mistake by not getting enough gold for my Bloodthirster, and if you're wondering, why does this Corki go Bloodthirster? The reasoning is rather simple. I just want to go for as much AD as possible. I don't really care about the vamp on the item. I currently have 360 AD. So whoever I touch gets instantly blown up. Like, take a look. Hello, Samira, and she is gone. You see? That is quite a lot of damage, and this Leona is a tank as well. With this amount of AD, and you dealing magic damage as the primary source of your damage, in a full physical draft otherwise, you will completely take over the game, because itemizing against you when they have to itemize so many different things is very difficult. Oh, the unlucky Flay. Can't really blame him for that one. But yeah. And now, oh no, I use my Valkyrie too early. I get Zenith Bladed. I get absolutely demolished. I turn on her. Oh my god, no. The Rammus, he's running me down, and the Tristan just finally had enough and kills me. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I made a signature mistake. I got a little bit panicked, and the enemy caught me. Now I have to buy TP as I'm dead, just to make sure that in case something happens, I can play the game. But now look at my Kha'Zix. He just caught one person off guard, goes into the stealth, plays around the stealth, and just keeps on using his champion speed and kit to outplay the enemy. And the enemy simply isn't paying attention to the sheer possibility of this champion being able to abuse the jump so wonderfully. And for some reason my team votes FF again. I don't really understand why, but we just take it. Now I just undo the teleport thing, pick a package, and now there's a Baron timer. There's not much the enemy can do about Baron when we just do it, because we have so much damage, right? Like, I melt it, Kha'Zix melts it, and again, typical situation, support needs to tank so the Kha'Zix doesn't get the debuff. Does it, at least sometimes, walks away, it's fine, it's not contested. We look for a mid lane play. We can just basically observe from distance. Did you just see the damage to the Rammus? He's a tank, by the way. And now we just go in, we still have our Zhonya's, and Zhonya's in front of her, and she flashes away, and it's Jover for them. And Leona comes back to say hello, and now we go back into the enemy jungle to recoup a little bit of HP, and then we go back into the enemy base. The issue here is now we can't really do too much unless the enemy agrees. We can only go for pot shots while we wait for the enemy wave to... She actually died to this. We can't really do too much because we need to wait for the waves to come. And sadly, my Lucian just took away my blue buff, and he gives the sad JC mode because I don't think he wanted to take it, but it's okay, it happens. And here, this is just bullying the Rammus. Like, did you see the damage of that one through bone plating? Yeah, this champion's damage is truly not balanced, and unless you want the oppressiveness a Jace provides, Corki is one of the champions you should always have on your radar. Like, I can just use these abilities constantly to deal chip damage to the enemy. And now for my last item, I really want to get Shield Bow. I just want to get a little bit tankier so I can survive and get my 100% crit rate. And here we are fighting in the enemy jungle for a red buff, and yeah, the Samira actually saved their entire team, if you didn't see that. Let's go back for a second. She saved her entire team. Look what she did for them. Here. Look, you see her swirly thing? If she doesn't do this, they just all disappear. Because my red rocket with Ascent Reaver and Baron buff on all my items is absolutely demonic. Now the typical issue happens again. Nobody wants to deal with sideways. We always want to have fun. We run down mid lane. We run down everywhere. So yeah, you just have to do it yourself. Like, they're having fun. They're doing everything possible to potentially lose the game. And we can't really change anything about that one. So we take every resource away possible. And we just approach from an angle where you can do some extra damage. We quickly blast the Rammus, jump away instantly because we don't want to die. Play max range, constantly look at the fight, look at the spacing, dealing some extra damage, and just looking at the possibility of what we can do. Because if we die now, we will probably lose the game in a sense of a major gold swing. And for us, it's already very difficult to walk into the enemy. Like, if the enemy has control over objectives, we can't really do anything. And now, our Tryndamere just randomly died again. But we are full build now. We had 417 AD on this brief moment. Quickly pre-stacking the red rocket again. And if we see anyone, we kill them. We just blow them up. but we have to be very respectful that we are not caught off guard, playing slowly, using our teammates basically as a human ward. And if we can, we're chilling. Did you see the damage? It was one red rocket. She just took half her HP in damage without even being able to do anything about this. And you can do this on a low cooldown. You see this recharging on the right, on my ultimate bar. You can do this so often. And now we're at a point of the game where things get really problematic. Our team had so much fun, and we are basically too ahead too early that we give them a lot of gold through inhibitors. And it's very difficult. Like, this is one of the reasons why taking early inhibitors is a problem, because if people don't understand what to do with the pressure, we just lose automatically. And now I just go forward to the Tristana. I thought I could just kill her, but yeah, I needed to even use exhaust to make sure, and to use my package so I don't get ulted away. And now I just have to play backline, just dealing some chip damage from range. I'm not allowed to die. I need to understand where the Samira is hiding, where the Orianna is playing, to not just get caught off by a stray ball into the combo. On the good side is, we see on the minimap that there's a major bot wave, and the enemy has to respond to this, so we can just dance around this Nashor pit. We can just start it, we can just do it. There's nothing they can really realistically do about this, because they have to make a decision. They have to defend their base, or they have to come here. And whatever they do, they will end up on the losing side, because they can't outsmite the Kha'Zix. But did you see the enormous range of this Rammus gauntlet, and the Orianna ult just completely sending my my little Kha'Zix into Narnia? And yeah, now it's just about side laning again. We want to make sure that we push all lanes. Technically speaking, we can just end it from mid, but our Tryndamere just had enough. He got the Elder Dragon for free, and we are basically presented with an option to either go through top, which is technically the correct play, just setting it up. But right now, I'm at a point where one hit of mine completely destroys them. Like, if anyone gets close... Orianna just really whiffed that one. If that hits, it's a doomed angle, by the way. Elder is so much bonus damage, and if it hits anyone, if I hit anyone with any spell, it's basically instantly over. And this is the beauty of Corki, compared to, for example, Jace, where the frequency of the combo is very low. But did you see? This was Rammus. He's just gone. And now we hit the backline. We take away their entire HP, but it wasn't even first strike. And now we go in. Maybe we can flash in the ult, but we fail. Unfortunately, if we do this, we actually kill them. And now we Zhonya's with the E, and we end the game. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, why is Corki so strong? Quick explanation again. Corki's ability to basically neutralize every lane is super high. He cannot really be frozen on, simply for the fact that his rockets can always clear waves. He also scales super well into the late game, and he has early power spikes because of the cheap item he has, which is Monomune, and his package. So he's basically one of the most broken champions you can ask for when it comes to scaling, while having a decent early impact compared to, for example, a Kassadin. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon for more RiftGuides content.